Well guys, as some of you may or may not know, our headquarters is now way out in the country, and that's super cool because we have a lot of space to do a lot of cool things. But also a drawback is electricity provisions. First thing we got as soon as we moved in the neighborhood, all the neighbors said, you're gonna need a generator. So we took note and hopped on board with that. Got this super cool Generac 22 kW unit, and it's performed flawlessly, man. It was coming up on 2 years of service, and it's done us really well. But we noticed that, as you'll see on the front of the panel, if you own one of these units or you've studied on them, they have visual warnings, and came through recently and I saw that there was an orange light on there. So I knew immediately needed some service, so I looked into it a little bit further, and here's what we found. So if you have one of these units, you know it's super easy to service. You just lift the lid and everything is easily accessible from there. So you've got a digital LCD readout, and we see that it says ready to run, but inspect the battery. So we knew immediately you probably needed to take a look at power provision to get this unit cranked. So as most of you know, we are an XS Power dealer. So immediately what I did, hit up my man Brady, XS Power, and I said, hey, we've got a situation with our Generac home unit. Runs everything now. Pretty important that we have this thing tip-top shape. Office, internet, everything runs through this in the event of power failure. And coming into storm season here in the East Texas area, it's going to be very important that this thing runs good, because we can typically have a 24-hour to multi-day power outage. So Brady said, man, got just the unit here, got the S1200 or D1200. He said looks like it's going to meet the specs and should fit in there nicely. The difference in the two units, S1200 and D1200, being same power provision, just post reversal on the unit. So pretty good. It's got 2600 amps, 725 cranking amps, I believe. So powerful unit. We're going to go ahead and crack into the case here, see what we've got to work with today. What we're going to need: some basic tools, some pliers. It's always good to have that. Terminals connected via 1/2 inch. So we got a ratchet, got a wrench. Get into the actual Generac case itself. Need a good set of Allen wrenches. And then if we encounter any corrosion, good wire brush, always good to take care of that. So a wire brush on hand. And then for this S1200, we opted to get the 551 set of brass terminals. So that will interface directly with the S1200 battery, and then it'll allow the terminals to connect to the posts here. We should be good to go. So go ahead and crack in here, see what we got, and see if we can get this thing changed out. Okay, so some best practice things straight out the gate. Gonna go ahead and flip our switch to off on our breaker, then go over to our panel, and we'll hit the off button here. That will go ahead and disconnect that. So that's everything external on the outside as far as switches. Does recommend that we pull the 7.5 amp fuse. So got the fuse out, lay that there to the side, and then we'll crack into the case over here and get ready to do the battery swap. So the side case actually houses the battery. Take this loose with the 2 Allen screws. Take that out. So here we go. Basically just lifts off. Set that around to the side. And here you can see our warning system. Also you can see where the battery is stored. The last recommended step is disconnecting our charging system here. So that's the white wire. We'll go ahead and disconnect that. Okay, so our charging system's now disconnected, so we'll take a look and see what we've got going on here with the battery. Take a look there. As we can see, we've got a little bit of corrosion there on the terminals, so we'll want to take these terminals loose, clean those up, and then get ready to replace it with our S1200 series. Alright, you can see on the positive terminal there's a fair amount of corrosion on this unit, so we'll definitely want to make sure we clean this up before we reinstall a new battery. Okay, so got our terminals clean. Go ahead and unbox our S1200 here. Now keep in mind, guys, this battery has been pre-charged, so it's not coming straight out of the box. It's always best practice. Make sure you put a good charge in your battery before you place it in service. That will make sure it is at 100% and maintains well in use and when not used. Okay, so as mentioned, guys, you want to get the 551 terminals. That's important. Go ahead and get these, and you'll be good to interface with the generator. Basically what this is posts that will allow you to be able to interface the top of the battery through Allen screws. So that will go on each terminal of the battery and then allow you to connect your leads from the generator to the battery itself. So here's both your terminals. See, you've got your Allen screws in there. Go ahead and place those on top terminals of the battery. Loosely screw those down in. Get your Allen wrenches. Then you'll want to torque them to reasonable spec. Make sure that they're tight. Okay, so once we've got our terminals torqued down to spec, go ahead and get our leads, get them ready to place on each of the terminals. Place your positive on there initially, route that around to where it doesn't short or contact opposite polarity. There you go. This should just cleanly drop right back into the battery tray. Terminals are tight. Tuck the leads, and we're ready to go back on with the case. Alright, so we're about ready to go back with the case, but before we do, we need to make sure we remember to reconnect our white charging wire. So white charging wire connection is now together. See that our indicator light up top is now displaying, so we've got pass-through voltage there. Get our side cover back in place. Push in and down. We'll go ahead and reinsert our fuse. Fuse is back in. Go ahead and hit our breaker switch. It's on. Go through our prompts on the face of the unit and select anything that it asks us. This is asking for fuel selection, so presently we'll do LP for liquid propane. And boom, got a green light, we're good to go. So that's basically all there is to it, guys. Battery has been installed, got this ready to go, run through a test cycle, make sure it fires up, good to go, and we'll be ready for storm season. For all your power needs and a broad array of applications, visit XXXmotorsports.com and allow us to quickly and efficiently get you started.